Good evening and good afternoon and good morning wherever you are in the world. And welcome to SPTV. My name is Matt. We're here and I'm part of MK Clairvoyance. Unfortunately, Kirsty is not with us this evening as she's not well. So if you could send some healing to her, that would be wonderful. But she sends her regards to you all and hopes to be back next week. So, welcome to everyone and to our normal Monday night show. 8 o'clock UK time and whatever time zone you are in. The way that the show works is that each week we pose a question to yourself and then you respond to that. And if yours is chosen, then basically we give you our input and then from there give you a reading. Alternatively, you may think, you know what, there's a question I've always wanted to know of a spiritual nature. I've wanted to know about healing or mediumship or something else, in which case then pose that to us. We'll give our input. And again, that's a reading. They're the only two ways to get readings on this show. So with that, let's say hello to everyone. So can I start the hellos, please, Mr. Producer? Hello there, Linda Watson. Hello, Alison. Hello, Rose Connolly. Hello, Olivia Louise. Hello, Gail. Hello, Bailey Jane Sparks. Hello, Natalie Bentley. Hello, Tony Lazard. Hello, Hezval. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Emma Adams. Thank you. Hello, Stacey. Hello, Chloe Damon. Hopefully I've said that right. Hello, Julie. The Guzman. Hello, Kaylee Byrne. Hello, Bev Buttle. Hello, Tina Place. Hello, Amanda Groom. Hello, Tabitha Thrash. Hello, Kim. So thank you for that healing for Kirsty. Thank you very much. Burn. Hello, Lee Delbert. Hello, Debbie Westwood. Well, thank you. I'm glad I got it right. Makes a change. Hello, Kerry Ahern. Hello, Amy White. Hello, Casey Tanner. Hello, Rachel Brown. Hello, Christine Moraes. Okay, so I'm just going to go through for those people just joining us. It may be your first time how the show works. Hello, Rachel Brown. That basically each week we post a question for you to answer. So this week is, do you think there should be standards in mediumship or any type of spiritual work? Should there be standards set? And if so, why? So you answer that as best as you can. There's no right and wrong, it's your opinion. And then if you are chosen, then we'll give you reply to what you've put. And then from there, you get a reading. Alternatively, if you've got a question of your own of a spiritual nature that you've always wanted to know, perhaps it's about the spirit world, perhaps about mediumship, mechanics of mediumship, or healing, Reiki, anything like that, then pose that question to us and we'll answer that as best as we can. And then from there, we will give that person a reading as well. So that's how it works. So with that, have we got any questions yet, Mr. Producer, please? Okay, so Tabitha says, yes, we need standards, helps our clients know what to expect and sets the groundwork for sessions, most definitely. And it's, you know, that's really important. And I was just discussing before we came on to the show with the producer about a client I'd recently had. and this client had certain expectations of what they want and they wanted, but in fact it wasn't the same expectation to actually what was. And when we are doing spiritual work, it's very different to a lot of ways that you work. I mean, I can communicate with yourself. You can understand me in that form that the message has gone from myself to you. It's received, it's input, and it's listened to, and then you relay it back, your response to that. However, when we're working from a spiritual point of view, we will sometimes hear, we'll sometimes see, we'll sometimes feel. We are getting pictures that fly into our mind. We're seeing images of the person in spirit. There is so much going on. All our senses are being activated. And as such, if there is a person who doesn't understand all of that, perhaps it's maybe their first time they've ever had a reading, then basically the expectations are not clear. So it's very important that as a medium or somebody working, a card reader, whatever, makes those clients understand from the offset, this is how I will communicate, this is how I will work, these are some of the things that may happen. It's also important that you impart how you are going to work, but also not to them giving you loads of responses of yes, because this happened, this, and by the end of it, the client has told you everything and you've not had to do a reading. Remember, and this is very important for going against fraudulent mediums, the medium does the work, not the client. Okay, so that's really, really important. So thank you for that, Tabitha. So where are we going today? Okay, with yourself, Tabitha, I've got a grandmother. I want to say the lower part of your mouth, sort of your chin, your mouth, and that area resembles her. But I want to put her just slightly above your shoulder, probably, I don't know, 5'2"-ish, something like that. I want to say with this lady that I would have had mobility problems towards the end. I do feel like I would have shuffled a little bit. I wasn't to the point where I was needing mobility aids as such, but my walking pace wasn't as it was. I also feel with this lady, as she draws closer to myself, I feel very much that I'm struggling for my breath. I've got pains in my chest. I also know with this lady that I'm coming on mum's side of the family. She makes me feel that her, your mum, and yourself all look the same. She's also making me aware that she's around quite a lot. You keep smelling like wafts of cooking that's coming in. I also want to say that there's been lots going around your mind and lots going on. I also want to say that things have been hard going in the last 2 months, and as a result, you've had to take a deep breath and just sort of take the put the brakes on a little bit to slow things down, to sort of draw attention to what's going on with yourself. I need to say to you, whatever it is that's going on at the moment, you are brave. I want to say to you, there has been tears, but I want to say to you also that, you know, to listen to yourself and not to listen to the words of others. I also need to say to not to put yourself down. Know that you're a courageous person. You've got a lot to give to this world and a lot more to give, certainly on a spiritual nature. And now it's normally Kirsty that does this, but obviously she's not in here. So I am going to show this card. It's from the Archangel Oracle cards by Dana Cooper, and it's the Cherubim card. It says, look to the stars, accept keys and codes of stellar wisdom. And I need to say to you, not only look to the stars, but look within. Trust your intuition and trust who you are. If I can leave that with you, Tabitha. Thank you for working with me. Okay, any more lows, please, Mr. Producer? Hi, Linda Cato. Alison Turnbull. Hello, Sylvia Freestone. Hello, Angela Moore. Hello, Gillian Wren. Hello, Sharon Kersey. Hello, Ina. Hello, Raven Girl. Thank you. Hello, Moira Smith. Hello, Ellie Manners. Hello, Kerry Morgan. We've got any more questions, please, Mr. Producer? Hello, Jennifer Lawrence. Hello, Ellie Nichols. And hello, Kelly Keating. And hello, Catherine Coppin. Okay, Alice Bowden says, can loved ones say messages when you're doing a video of someone? Because I heard my husband say, I love you in a strange voice. I've done a video of my son and my husband passed away recently. Okay. Right. The spirit can use technology to manipulate things. So, you know, they can interfere with the telly, they can interfere with the computer. So quite a common one is when they draw close, perhaps your computer screen freezes, perhaps your computer turns itself off and all of that. So they can interfere. And I need to say that, you know, whatever way that somebody, in this case your husband, wants to find a way, a channel of working and to get a message across, then they will. I also need to say to you that obviously if you imagine technology, it doesn't allow us to speak the way that we speak, other than systems like Skype or Zoom or things like that. A lot of them are very sort of robotic in the way that they speak, and that's why your partner's voice may have sounded strange. So hopefully that explains that. Now, I have a gentleman and I want to go military links, and I want to go with the gentleman very much things are done in a regimented way. Everything has to be done. I'm very particular of how it's done. I also want to say with this gentleman, I'm probably about 5'10" in height. I've got pains around the heart area. I also feel with this gentleman that there had been problems around the head area. I do feel that sort of, when I say around the head area, I don't mean that there's been an accident or whatever. I feel like low moods with this gentleman. I also feel with this gentleman that I had a big heart. Okay, so you put there your TV goes fuzzy. So yes, exactly that as well. So with this gentleman, he's got a big heart. There is a lot of love going out to yourself. I also want to say that with yourself, you keep getting a almost like a difficult swallowing and feeling you need to hold your throat. But there's stuff that you have, because of the grief, it's still got to come out. And that's what this is. I also want to say to yourself that, you know, there is a variety of things other than the things that are happening with the telecommunications and all of that. They have smelt like candles. You know, when they've got blown out, you get that lovely smell of a candle. I'm smelling that in the house. I also feel that things are being moved around, particularly books in different rooms. I also want to say to you that from this gentleman, okay, so you put, yeah. I just want to say to you, don't blame yourself I want to say that, and I know that's quite a bland topic, but what he's trying to say is not blaming yourself for that he went when he went. What he wants you to remember is that even though he didn't go old, he he had happy memories to go with, and that's what you've got to hold on to. You've got to hold on to that memory and the fact that you made a difference to him just as much as he made a difference to your life. I'm also being shown a little boy, so you must have a son here that he's showing me, and you've also got a dog as well. So he's making me aware of that, and I just need to say to you, what time? Roughly about 1:30 in the morning, he's making me aware he's around you, and I feel at that point you are just about going to sleep. I also want to say to you that you've not been sleeping properly in view of everything that's gone on. But I want to give you the times that he's making me aware of in particular. I want 3:15, 4:10, and 5:25 as the three times that he's making me aware of that he's around. He's always around. You do still hear his thick footsteps, and it's not your imagination. You are hearing him because he won't go, because he doesn't want to go. He's transitioned over. I want to make that clear, but he still wants to come back and check that you are okay. I can leave his love with you. Thank you for working with me. Okay, so thank you for that, Alice. And if we can go to some more hellos, please. Hello there, Jay Fleming. Hello, Margaret Thompson. Hello, Natasha DeGuano. Hopefully I've said that right. Hello, Julie Simpson. Hello, Reese Daniels. Hello, Siobhan O'Rourke. Any more questions, please? Hello, Barbara Linnell. Okay, so Terry's put, I feel there should be standards in place, otherwise anyone could do and say anything. Standards allow messages to be delivered in correct way and not offend or upset anyone. Please know what to expect. Very much so, and I think I want to add to that is that as a medium, it's also important, and again, this was another conversation we had just before the show, you are not always right. Because when you are working as a medium, you're working very much subjectively, and as a result, you can misinterpret things, and that goes for any medium, no matter how long they've been working. That, excuse me, there'll be mediums who say, "Well, you know, I've got this. I'm fantastic. I've been doing this 30 years plus." But you know what? I know plumbers who've been working 30 years make mistakes. Solicitors who have won every single case and they've had a bad day. We can all make mistakes, and mediums are no different. But it's important that we set solid standards, and those standards are not to defraud the public, and to be honest and admit when we're wrong. And it's also down to expectations of you, the public, to say, you know, this is the standard that we want. And you know, for mediums to aspire to continue to develop and continue to work. What I've seen over the years, and you know, fellow workers will speak the same, is that you know people go into a circle. They'll sit in a circle for a couple of weeks. The teacher will say you're doing fantastic. Other people give them praise, and within 2 minutes they're out, they're working, and they're not yet got the foundations or got the skills in which to do the work they need to do. Now, it's really important that as mediums, if we're setting standards, we're doing the same as any other person would do, like an accountant, a lawyer, any other professional. We're doing continuous CPD. We're looking at our own work and looking how we can make it better, and also looking how we can change the way that we work. Because what I don't want, and this is for me as well, is I don't want to still keep working the same in 10, 15, 20 years' time. Because time moves on, and that means you haven't progressed in your own spiritual journey, as well as not giving the people what they need from their message also. So thank you very much for that, Terry. Terry, I'm going to go for yourself. And I have a gentleman here. I've got similar sort of glasses as yourself. I've got a lovely smile. I do feel like I'm going on a fatherly vibration. I'm very clean shaven. I'm very much down to earth. And I'm very matter of fact. This man is a man of very few words. I feel that his passing was very quick. And I just need to say to you, because he is a man of few words, he hasn't got a lot to say, but he wants to say to you, your sunshine is getting brighter. You are starting to truly blossom and move into the lady that you were always meant to be. He also wants you to understand that you have changed within yourself within the last 2 years. You have become stronger. You've become more able to stand up for what you believe to right, and have started to learn in the last sort of 6 months how to also say no. I need to say to you, there's a lot of love from this gentleman. And like I say, he was a man of few words, but he is a person who would give all of his love and nothing less. And I just need to say, from him, love you, always love you, but also understand you've always been loved. And if I can leave that with you, Terry, thank you for working with me. So I'm sorry it was short and sweet, but he, like I say, is a man of few words and didn't have a lot to say other than coming in what he said. Thank you very much for working with me. Okay, any more hellos, please, Mr. Juicer? Hello there, Grace Smith. Hello, Hallie House 13. Hello, Deborah Black. So as we're getting these hellos, I'm just going to explain for the people who are just joining us how the show works. Hello, Kelsey New. That basically, if you've never been on the show before, we go over YouTube, so please sign up as a subscriber to the YouTube channel, but we're also going live and streaming over Facebook, so please be aware of that. Please get other people of a like-mindedness to also come and join. It's completely free, and by getting the numbers up, by raising awareness of all the shows on SPTV helps, because what it does then is it keeps this channel free. That's what we want, and to also keep the standards of this channel reflective of the movement. So the way that Monday night works is we pose a question each week, and that question tonight is, should there be standards in mediumship or any type of spiritual work, and if so, why? So you answer that. If you are chosen, then you'll get a reading. On the other side, you may be a burning question you've got yourself, in which case then you just pose that and we'll answer it as best as we can, and then you get a reading. They're the only two ways that you get a reading on this show, so just be aware of that. So moving on. Hello, sister versus brother. Sounds like my house is a child. Hello, Jennifer Lawrence. Hello, Ellie Nichols. So Ellie's put, do spirits need time to heal when they pass over, or will they come through straight away? So there's two sides to this, Ellie. Sometimes if they have passed over in unusual circumstances, they will need that period of time to adjust and then come over. The person might have been very spiritual, in which case they come over quicker. But it depends on the link. On most occasions, you know, we've had people who've passed within the hour come over. We've had people who've passed that week. And we're not, when I say we, me and my wife, we're not exceptional in this thing. Many mediums do exactly the same. There was this old story, and I'm sorry I'm repeating myself for those people who listen every week, that there was a belief that you had to wait 6 months. That's not the case. It's very old school, that belief. They do come through. And, you know, the way I like to put it, if they don't come through, it's not because they've not wanted to come through. It either wasn't the right time at that moment, um, or the medium wasn't the right medium, because it's got to be the right medium as well. So, you know, there may be one time that I get a reading through and the person comes through that's never come for anybody else, and be another time I get the reading and that person doesn't come through. And it is very much like that, because we can never control who's going to come through, and we can't guarantee who's going to come through. Um, and there's lots of things and variables that go into that. You know, the energy of the medium. It could be the waxing and waning of the moon. It could be just the connection isn't strong enough. There's lots of different variants. So hopefully that's answered your question, Ellie. Okay, I have a grandmother with yourself. I've gone with a heart condition. I am a maximum of 5'1", at a push 5'2", but I'd say more 5'1" in height. Cuddly to the body. I want to say similarities around the eyes, but also around the face with yourself. I also want to say with this lady, I feel that, you know, I live to a reasonable age. I certainly feel sort of 83, 85. I feel that I went with my heart. I had a progressive passing. I didn't go straight away. But when I went over, I was ready to go over, because not because I was in any pain or anything, but simply because I'd had a good life. In my view, I was never one to complain about my life. And you know what? There was times that I was in pain, but I still would never moan about it, or I would never complain. That I was just that type of lady. And even in my worst days, I could always put a smile on my face. With this lady, she is rooting all the time. I just feel that she had bits all over the place. She's also giving you an apple. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. I also want to give you lots of drinks of water. There is also diabetes that I also want to bring to you with the male that's around you. I also want to say the significance of the 13th of June. Now, I want to give you dates. I'll either be on the day or 2 days either side. So on the 13th of June, the 15th of September, and the 12th of December for anniversary, birthdays, or passings. I also want to say that there's a sense of loss, and I don't mean sort of loss as in grief, but loss as in confusion, not sure where I'm going at the moment and the direction that I'm going. I'm just like, I just feel like I'm going through the motions of sort of like, you know, get up in there, go and do what I need to do, go back to bed, go to sleep, and then repeat it. I just feel like I'm going through the motions a bit. And this is what this lady's making me feel. And I just want to say changes are afoot, and things are going to change. And I'm taking very much, she's taking me to July time for those changes. Now, I'm not going to make any predictions because I'm not a fortune teller, but she just takes me to that. I also want to say lights go on and off in the house. And I'm also wanting to change my diet. Now, she's given me wholemeal bread for yourself, because I feel, not that I'm eating rubbish, but it's just whatever with my diet is affected, because my stomach is really, really hurting when I'm digesting food. And I just feel that I've got something problem there. If that is the case, I need to say to go and consult a medical professional and just to have that checked out. I also want to say to you is you must use cards yourself, because I'm sort of turning over a card of the day and starting to experiment with those. But I want to say that to yourself that life is for living. Stop feeling that the same thing keeps happening or you're not meant to be happening. Life is meant to be for living. And by living every day as if it's your last. You start to embrace life and truly live life. And for whatever reason, I need to say to you, don't live it through readings. Live it because you want to enjoy life. I don't know why I need to say that to you, but I was just getting that feeling. And the message for you is believe in Ellie, love Ellie, and see her for who she is. You have got a brain up there and you've got a lot to offer. But sometimes you, I'm being told that you like to act the way that people want you to act. And I want to say you want to act the way that Ellie should act and the way that feels comfortable for you. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Ellie. If I can leave your nan's love with you, and thank you for working with me.
And I was just about to say something.
Echo. Hello. So I'm just not saying hello to anyone. I'm speaking to Mr. Producer. Not that I'm being rude. Anyway, moving on. Chemi Araji. Hello. Hello, Lisa Miller. Thank you for sharing. Hello, Sarah May. Hello, Heidi Spicer. Fruit Loops. There is a joke in there somewhere. I'm missing it. At my expense, probably. Hello, Elaine Humphreys. Hello, Diana Donlan. Sorry. Sabrina Cadman, hello to you. Hello, Jean Duffy from British Columbia, Canada. Very nice. Hello, Nicola Humphreys. Hello, Sandra Clifton. Hello, Lauren. Oh, don't worry about it, as always. Hello, Jean Duffy. Okay, so Gail Amos, just bear me a second. Okay, so Gail, not just as a medium, but in all areas, pendulum work, palmistry, Reiki healing, if their accreditation standard they are adhered to, people cannot sue the person they have asked to help them. There's a few things I would say to that, Gail. It shouldn't be that you have to get accreditation, you have to feel that you need to adhere things to stop being sued. I need to say to you, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about setting your own standards. And it should be about saying, I'm doing this because I feel it and I believe it to be right. Now, yes, in modern day society, we do need to be part of organizations if we choose. And it is about qualifications and all of that to back up, to give the public confidence. But if we are doing things from the offset for the right reasons, if we are doing things from the offset because we believe them to be right and we're doing them from the heart, so that we are not trying to manipulate people, we're not trying to defraud them, we're not trying to take money away from them, we are having certain criteria, we're not giving advice of what we're not qualified to do, for as other examples, then we're already showing our ethics and our morals and in professionalism in the work that we do. Now, as you've said, that goes right across the board, you know, in any type of work. And I need to say to you, you know, very much the beauty, holistic, and the spiritual fields of study are not necessarily accredited. They're not necessarily vetted, and as a result, they're open to manipulation. You know, it's sad to see on a holistic and beauty level that people can go and do a one-day course, and then suddenly they can open a beauty salon and stuff, which is quite scary when you're dealing with skin and all of that. But from a medium's point of view, you're also in a position of dealing with people who their lives, their livelihood, their sensitivity and vulnerability, and we need to be responsible that we're not taking advantage of that. So thank you very much for that, Gail. I'm going to do some cards for yourself. As I said before, They're from the Archangel pack by Dana Cooper. I'm going to say to you, the card I've got here is Lady Gaia. Your challenges are lessons. You are loved and welcome on Earth. And what I say by that is that you are loved by the people here on Earth, but also there is an importance for you to be more grounded at the moment and not go off at a whim and sort of think, right, I'm going to do this, and then get so far down the thing and think, oh, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change and do something else. I want you to sort of set your intentions of what you want to do and stick to that for the time being. I also want to say to you that I've got a motherly vibration around yourself, and I also feel with this lady that I've got chest pains in the middle here, which generally to me normally means that chest compressions were given. I also want to say with this lady, probably 5'6", which is quite tall for a lady. I'm sorry if these that's comes across as disrespectful, but to me that's quite tall for a lady. I want to say very similar around the eyes, similar hair colouring and all of that. I also feel with this lady that I haven't gone old at all. I also feel with this lady that I became I feel like I'm losing weight, and I feel very, very exhausted with this lady. I also want to say with this lady that I'm going on mum's side of the family. Would you understand? I'm going to say to you, Gail, I'm just going to put this out, that you would understand this around an auntie that was like a mum to you. It is how I'm feeling. I want to say very petite to the body, but I don't feel old. And I just need to say to you, you stick to your morals, your beliefs and standards. And I don't mean just around your spiritual work, but in everything you do. Because I just feel that I've been challenged over the things that I do and how I do them. I don't know. If I give you an example, this is how we do double entry bookkeeping, or this is how we make a bed, or whatever else, that it's almost like this is how you should do it, not the way that you've done it. And actually, I want to say to you, your way is the best way, and you need to acknowledge that and just almost like let things go over your head a little bit and not let them go too much to heart. The final thing I need to say to you, you're very much loved by those in spirit, but understand also that we have good days, we have bad days, and at the moment it just seems that you're just going along and everything's okay, but there's no real challenges or everything else. Challenges would be, but we also need to rest as well. And this period at the moment is just about rest and giving you time to decide what it is that you want to do. And if I can, because I do feel that changes are afoot round about September time. So if I can leave that with you, thank you for working with me. Okay. So guys, if you get a message, if you can just put a reply to say yes, no, don't understand that, yes, that makes sense and everything, because it's really important just to get the feedback, even if it's at the end, just to say that we're not just making this up. So that would be really good. But thank you for that, Gail. Mhm. Okay, our lovely Deb Clark, and who's on tomorrow, and is very much sets the standard herself. Standards. Who are going to assess the standards of the media, and how do we find the right people to assess? Who is qualified to assess? Okay, a few things here, Deb. Very much agree with what you're saying. Who do we see as reputable organisations? That's the first thing. What organisations are we going to use as organisations who are going to set those standards? Now, if I just tell you a very quick story, probably about 2 years ago, I started to draft some standards of what I believed need to be the standards for mediums, and I put this to the various organisations. I'm not going to say who those organisations were because I don't want to say the names over the internet, but I put the to the organisations who are in charge of spiritualism and sort of mediumship in the UK and in the US. And some of them responded and some of them didn't. But my sentiment was those standards need to start from the top and need to go down to the ground roots. And the standards need to go from all of these organizations, and there needs to be common standards that apply irrespective of what the organization is. It's seen as this is the standard in the UK that we expect if you belong to this organization, that organization, and it's coming together as a collective to agree those standards to which then the right people will assess. Then the next thing then is down to the church booking secretaries or the centre booking secretaries to say this is the standard of mediumship that our church wants to see. And the reason I say that, and there's no disrespect because being a booking secretary isn't easy, but what you don't want is that some churches say, well, you know what, I couldn't find anybody for these last 3 weekends or the last few days. So I've taken on these mediums because they've been with us for years and I couldn't get anybody else. We should be challenging that and saying, actually, if those mediums are good enough, then yes. But if they're not, then to look elsewhere. It's then down to the teachers who teach the circles to sort of say, this is the standard that I want to instill into you. These are the things that I want to prepare you for working on platform, to be one-to-one readings and to set those standards high so your students are going out with the same standards and attainment to send when they become teachers, they then instill that same ideology and standards in their students. And then it's down to the public. What are those standards? Now, yes, it's okay. Am I going to meet such and such a person? You know, people want to ask those questions. But actually, what are we wanting? What are our expectations of mediumship and what those? So in answer to your question, Deb, I want to say standards, I want to say need to happen on all levels, not just the body. I also want to say with the right people to assess, then they need to be assessed and deemed qualified too. So if you give an example, if you get inspectors who go around care homes or schools or everything else, they've obviously worked in that industry, they've attained a certain level, and basically then go out and give recommendations of way things are competent or people not. Now, those you've put there about the organisations don't have good mediums in charge. Well, I can't comment on that. I want to say all organisations have good and bad. You know, there's times that we do things right and sometimes we do things wrong. Yeah, exactly. So I want to say that, you know, let me think of an example. If I say the Law Society of the UK, they will validate and set standards and codes of ethics and everything like that. But you get bad solicitors as well as you get lots of good. You know, I go to do a qualification in computers. I passed the qualification, but it doesn't mean I'm very good at using a computer. I don't know the ins and outs of computer. So this is why we need to sit down. And I think there you've put the comment about, and they charge sort of silly rates. You know, that's part of it. You know, what is it we are wanting? I don't know if experience is the better word, Deb. And the reason I want to say that is because I've seen young mediums who have not got a lot of experience, but they've got standards, they've got morals, they've got ethics. and they've got all of the basics that are really important that can't be taught. It comes from within. So, you know, I think this is why it's difficult to sort of say this is the characteristics, the attributes of a medium, and some of those, like, you know, like a big heart and sort of does everything, blah blah blah. Um, but yeah, I think we just need to be careful that we don't confuse standards with experience. And because I've seen mediums who've been teaching years who I wouldn't say are experienced. And I've seen ones who are young, vibrant, who are equally not ready to work. So I want to say there's good and bad, there's young and old. There is not one sort of specific that you can say, yes, this is the person that is right because they've got the right age and all that. No, it's not about the age or how many years they've been teaching or how many years or how many countries they go to. It's got nothing to do with that. It's down to the level and quality of that mediumship. So hopefully it answers your question for you, Deb. So I'm very good. So is that live yet? Okay, so sorry, I'm just talking to Miss Producer. I'm just saying that basically the directory has been going now for 2 weeks, and in there you can see reputable mediums, and there's also a facility, a rating there, if you've had good readings and that. So on that. Now, with yourself, Debs, because I don't want to let you, just because you're one of the presenters, not have a reading. So I just want to say I've got a lady here. I don't feel this is mum, but I want to say you look like her. So I do feel this was a grandmother. I also want to say with this lady that she was very matter of fact. She was a loving soul, very understanding. And I want to say towards the end of her life, she suffered quite a bit in the sense of her health wasn't great. I do feel that I've had a good life. I certainly feel I've got into my early 90s. I feel also with this lady, I'm having pains as she draws close around my heart. But I also feel that I'm very, very tired. I was ready to go because I couldn't keep going. It was too much to keep going. I do feel that her husband would have gone before her. And I also want to say with this lady, again, she has a big heart and lots of love to give to you. She's telling me that the last 2 years have been difficult for you, but you're coming out the right side. And she says, when it comes to setting the standard, because you do it from the heart, because you give of your best all of the time, nobody can ever ask more. And if that is the minimum of standards that's acceptable, then by Joe, you've done more than the minimum standard. She sends you lots of love. And if I can leave that with you, thank you for working with me, Deb. Okay, thank you. So if we can move on, please. And thank you for that, Deb. Hello, Thoraya Richards. Hopefully I've said that, your first name right. Hello, Tina Yearsley. Hello, Sharon Jute. Hello, Carol Wood. Hello, Gyla. Hopefully I've said that right. Gyla Telez. Hello, Jan Parks. Hello, Michelle Lilly. For those people joining us for the first time, unfortunately, Kirsty can't be here tonight. And for those regular viewers, unfortunately, she's not feeling well. But she sends her love, and hopefully she'll be able to join us next week. Okay, Chloe Damon. Are some spirits weaker than others to come through, or do they choose not to come through to speak out to their loved ones? I need to say to you, Chloe, I don't know if you're married or not, and I'm not wanting to answer that, or if you're in a long-term relationship or a short-term, whatever. What I'm trying to get across was, if you meet somebody and you get into a relationship, and is that love that even when they're not there, you're thinking about them all the time, you're wanting to see the pictures on the phone, they're in your thoughts, they're in your heart, you'll have arguments and you burst into tears, and because they've had such an effect on you on a physical and emotional level. I now want you to think of that same scenario, but think of it in a family, or someone even closer, like a nan, a granddad, a mum, a dad, who have that long experience. And I want you to imagine a cord that goes from your heart to the heart of the other person, and that's unbreakable. And even when that person transitions over to the spirit world, that connection is still there. So I need to say to you, because that connection's still there, when you think of them, or certain days, maybe it's their birthday or it's Christmas time, something special, that connection resonates with you, and it gets quite upsetting, quite emotional to think, I miss my granddad, I miss my nan. I know, and you start to think with your mind and start thinking of all the memories and all the good times that you had. But that's a two-way process. People think once they go over, just because they haven't got the physical body, so they're not in all the pain, that they don't have other emotions, and they miss you just as much as you miss them. So one of the stories I want to tell you is one of Kirsty's cousins passed probably about 3 or 4 years ago. He had a young family, and basically, he went younger than he should have. He was a loving soul and everything else. And probably about 2 or 3 weeks after he passed, he came back to give a message to his daughters and saying how hard it was to see them and not be able to give love, or to be able to put his arms around them. And that sort of demonstrated to me that, just because you've gone over to the other side and, everyone talks about how wonderful it is and why would you come back and everything else, it's not the same as having the physical presence of being able to wrap your arms around somebody and saying, I've missed you. Just think what it's been like this last 18 months with all the COVID and not being able to hug people and share the house. Imagine that over a lifetime. So that's the first thing. Regarding because of that, sometimes there may be a period of readjustment from going from the physical world to the spirit world, because here is a lot denser than the spirit world. However, the communication may be distorted under certain circumstances. Maybe they've passed, or they're not aware that they've passed. But other than that, no, there won't be weaker. And the final thing I want to say, I sometimes get where people say, I've been wanting this person to come through and no mediums can bring them through, or, and they've not come through, they don't love me and everything else. So I want to put this right. If we concentrate on that one person so much, what we sometimes do is we squeeze that connection so tight that we don't let anybody else in, and as a result, we don't let the person in that we want. So I want to say, keep an open mind. Don't make it fit and all of that. Still keep it realistic. That if a medium's saying, "I've got your granddad here. He's 6'7" and he was 4'11." Don't say yes for the sake of it. Say no, that's not right. But keep in mind that one person might come through, and they might bring through the person that you want to come through. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, at no point will a loved one not want to come through. Because as I said to you, that love connection, that bond between you both is never broken. And it never will be. So hopefully that explains that for yourself. Okay. Okay, have a grandfather with yourself, Chloe. I want to probably put in 5'5", 5'6" in height, cuddly to the body. I've got a lovely way about myself. I have a wonderful laugh. I want to smile all the time with this gentleman. Again, I get sort of problems with my breathing with this gentleman. And I do feel there was problems with the breathing prior to going over, but I also feel that I've gone over with my heart. So I feel I had breathing conditions. I don't know if it was asthma or whatever, but struggling with my breathing and sort of problems around the chest, but it's the heart that I've gone over. I also want to say with this gentleman that I've got a little dog here. It looked like a Jack Russell. I've also, with this gentleman, I was quite happy sitting on the bench. I enjoyed looking at people go past in the park, like reading the newspaper and all of that type of thing. He says there's been a lot going on for you on an emotional level for the last 3 months, and particularly these last 3 weeks. He's also saying to me that with yourself, that there is times of misunderstandings with yourself, that sometimes you try and get your message across to others. However, that message isn't always how you want it to be, that people get like, are you saying this then? Are you saying that? And that's not the case, as you know. I also want to say to you that your heart is in the right place. And going back to the sort of the setting of standards, if your first thing is that your things come from the heart, then everything is going to be from the right intention. I also need to say to you, you do talk to spirit, you do talk aloud to yourself, but you do talk to spirit. You have been aware of spirit around you, and you keep looking over your right shoulder. I feel like I'm brushing my hair and I'm looking over my shoulder as I'm on there. So I've got that. But he's been around you quite a lot because he's just need at the moment just to have that upliftment and bit of laughter. And he would have brought tons of laughter in just from his smile and just made you feel good. And he just wants to come in and give you that upliftment and that sort of love for yourself at the moment. And I need to say to you, trust what you feel to be right. And I need to say to you, you need to trust your gut intuition more in order for it to, when you're making decisions. Okay, so if I can leave that with you, Chloe, thank you for working with me.
Hey, do you want to do some advert?
Yes, please.
I can hear them.
So, guys, we're going to put some adverts up. Please don't go because we are going to just be back in a second. So the lovely Wendy Lindsay will be joining us at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Zoom for the Spiritual Touch, personal pendulum healing energy therapist. So go to that, and details for that are on the SPTV fan page, which you'll find on Facebook. And you've just seen the lady, and now here she is with her own show. Tomorrow, the lovely Deb Clark chatting with Spirit, an evening of Deb offering mediumship readings. No questions, just simply the readings and connecting to your loved ones. So it's here tomorrow on YouTube and Facebook, 8 o'clock UK time. Check the time differences in your own countries for those who are joining us abroad. And then right across the water to the US of A to our Rachel Galbraith and the fantastic palmistry and tarot readings she does. And that'll be 10:30 UK time. Check other times for America and other continents. And that's over YouTube and Facebook again. So that's to look forward to tomorrow. So lots to, what, sorry? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So tomorrow, not on the channel, but if you go to our Facebook page, MK Clairvoyance, And on there'll be details if you want to join us for a meditation and for a coffee morning. Discussions, sometimes of spiritual nature, sometimes, what's been happening in the news or just things that are on your mind. And we'll have a discussion. So that's 10:30 till 12, and then followed by half an hour meditation, 12:15 till 1:15, just for general relaxation. But all details on the Facebook page. And just as we're going back, can I also thank all the viewers who have responded to the SPTV request by myself for talks on that. So thank you very much to yourselves for responding so quickly and so promptly and volunteering your time. I worry. I'm suggesting, Kelly, that you are somewhere like Australia or New Zealand. Oh, there you go. It's Tuesday. So thank you for joining us, Kelly. Hello, Katrina Toon. Hello, sister and brother. My hubby says hello. His name is Peter. Hello, Peter. Hello, Amy White. Okay, so how do you keep believing when you're in awful pain from grief? Okay, a difficult one. And it's a difficult one, Amy. And I'm not trying to come up with a cop-out here. It's difficult because everyone experiences grief in a different way. The way I like to describe it is if you've got children, anybody, especially you've got more than one, there's no one book that says how to bring up your children because every child is different and grief is just the same. It could be short-lived, as in 6 months for some people. It can be 2 years, 6 years. It could be 30 years. For some people, unfortunately, may go to their grave still grieving. And, there is no right and wrong answer. Now, in answer to your question, how do you keep believing? That is down to you sort of taking the time for yourself, one, to grieve, two, to accept what's happened, and three, to challenge your own beliefs and get the answers to the questions that you seek. Why has this happened? Why did it have to be then? What am I feeling? When will things get better? Now, there has to be a period of healing. And as I said, there's no timescale. Now, if you look at the theorists, they all say that, the grieving process is roughly about 18 months. And I say, what a load of twaddle. Because I've never seen a human being on any level, especially grief, that conforms to a model. Because we're all different. So what might work for one won't work for the other. So I need to say to you, the first thing for the believing is to give yourself time to understand what you're feeling and to explore those emotions. Now, there may be anger, there may be hurt, and that's okay. And if you look behind those powerful emotions, there'll be other ones. There'll be sadness, there'll be regret. Things happen in life not the way that we want them to. And, sometimes people are taken from us earlier than what's expected. Sometimes people are taken away from us on unusual circumstances. And we question, could we have done more? We question, why did this have to happen? If I would have been there so much earlier, I could have stopped this if I'd noticed the signs. I'm going to say something, Amy, and please don't take it the wrong way, but I don't know any other way. Things happen the way they're meant to happen and at the time they're meant to happen. Whether you believe in a God, a universal force, or whatever else, people go when they're meant to go. And for us, that's horrible because it's heart-wrenching because we're the ones picking up the pieces or we're the ones that are left behind. As I said to the other person early on in the evening, it's just as painful the people on the other side. So give yourself time. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to understand what you're going through, but also to look around you. But instead of thinking about, well, it's sorry that they've gone and not being able to do anything about, do things like, I'm going to make a scrapbook with all the happy things we did. So, for example, if the person in spirit liked going to Alton Towers, get pictures of them, funny faces trying to eat, going down Elter Skelters and things like that. All the fun things you can look back on. Yes, it will hurt, but it'll also be not a book of memories and remembrance, but a book of happiness, and celebrating that person's life and the impact that that person's had on your life in a positive way. Now, I can never even imagine what you are feeling. I can imagine what it's like with grief based on the grief that I've had in the years, but it's not your grief. So hopefully that explains in a roundabout way, Amy, and hopefully that makes you understand a little bit. But these are just my words. If there's anybody else who feels that there's something else to suggest of ways who have been through pain and grief, who say this is the way that I've got through, then please post those up for Amy and other people going through similar on the chat. Just don't give your personal details away, and don't give readings. Okay, it's just a note to say I did this and this worked for me, and hopefully that helps, Amy. Okay. With yourself, Amy, I feel I've got a mother vibration around you, and I feel I'm probably I'd say mid to late 40s only. I don't feel old. If I was older than that, I need to say I looked younger than what I was. I want to say there is similarities around the eyes. I want to say with this lady that I've got problems in my chest and affected my breathing. I also feel very, very tired. I feel that energy-wise, I used to go over a period of time, not just towards the end of my passing, but sort of probably the last year or so, sort of I gradually got worse and exhausted. I also feel with this lady, I'm very, very organized. Everything's got in its right place. I've got lots of things to do. I'm writing lots of lists and saying, right, I've got to do this, and making sure it's done. I also feel quite apt in baking, and I've got a fruit cake here. I also want to say with this lady that she's giving you lemonade. So I don't know what lemonade's for. I feel it's almost like to give me a bit of energy, because I'm feeling with you, Amy, that I've not got a lot of energy at the moment. I also want to give you lots of food, because I don't feel that I'm eating properly. And I feel that when I do eat, it's almost getting stuck in my throat. I'm not swallowing it properly. I'm not digesting it properly. I also want to say with yourself, music is great for lifting the soul, but don't also let the music bring you down as well. So keep the music loud, keep the sort of the exciting, the sort of uplifting music. I'm being shown sort of like rock music and stuff like that for yourself. I'm also being shown a first aid book, and I feel this is symbolic in the sense that not to put a plaster on something and say you're okay. What I mean by that is feel the emotions, feel what you're feeling. I do feel quite raw with this. I feel that, I feel probably the last 2 years, I feel it's a recent sort of thing. I also want to say to you that don't put your life on hold. Keep going and keep strong. And the final thing I want to say to you is don't keep wishing your life away. Keep clock watching and saying that basically, you know, oh, it's that time for bed now. Oh, it's that time to go up now. And just going through the monotony of the day. Build in some exciting times, bring in some fun times. And I want to say the happiness and the fun factor will come back, but also be willing to accept help from others rather than shutting them out, because they generally want to help. If I can leave their love with yourself, thank you for working with me. I do feel. Sorry, go
on. Final hellos.
Okay. Some more hellos, please, Mr. Tusa. Hello, Tina Yearsley. Hello, Sharon Brown. Hello, Becky Norman. Hello, Mally Lee. Or May Lee. Hello, Paula Lee from Connecticut. Hello, Kelly Jones. Hello, Alex Henderson.
That's it. We're done.
Okay, so thank you for joining us. We're at the end of another Monday night. It's been lovely seeing you all. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we've given you the opportunity to connect with your loved ones and receive the messages from those in spirit tonight. But also continue sending healing out to those within the group that need it, such as the lady who's just been on there going through the grief. Continue to send healing there. Continue to support one another and continue to support SPTV with Wendy, Debs and Rachel tomorrow night and through other shows throughout the week. But for now, folks, take care, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you next week. God bless.